just feel like with Kindle Unlimited, there's like too many options, you know what I'm saying? And just kind of like, not like pointless stories on there, but I don't know, it just feels like there's too much, right? There's too much on there, too much to choose from. So I was just like constantly reading, like, honestly, some of the dumbest shit, and it kind of put me into a slump. So I thought it was time for me to pick up some good old-fashioned books, paper, physical books. So I have 6 books to share with you guys today. So let's just get right into it. I'll go over the first book, which is the book that I'm currently reading right now. This is Love Again by Sophie Kramer, and this is the book I'm currently reading right now. I had actually had this book in my like Amazon card for quite some time, and like I said, since I had my Kindle, this isn't on Kindle Unlimited. I don't think any of these books are actually, but since I was kind of like in my Kindle trance, I just didn't pick it up. So I finally decided to get it. I'll read the synopsis for you guys. A heartwarming story of love, loss, serendipity, and texting. After a heated argument, Claire's fiance storms out of their apartment, but before they have the chance to reconcile, he dies in a tragic accident. She's paralyzed with grief, and her friends are worried about her, so to try to say what was left unsaid, she starts texting his old phone number. What she doesn't realize is that the number has been reassigned. Across town, Svene's phone begins receiving mysterious but heartfelt text messages. He doesn't respond, but is captivated by the sender. Having all but given up on love before the messages started coming, he sets out to find the person who has been texting him. Neither Svene nor Claire know what they are hoping to find, but it changes both of their lives forever. And this book has actually been turned into a movie too, so far so good. I'm like over halfway done with it. Can't wait to talk to you guys about this one. But I just picked this book up because this is a classic romance. Definitely like something that I would read. It screams me. So pick this one up, and it's like pretty short, not too thick. The next book that I picked up is a TikTok favorite, but people either really love this book or they really hate this book, and so I'm gonna have to figure out which one I am. It is Legends and Lattes, and this one is by Travis Baldry. Yeah, so like I said, people have really good things to say about this book, and people have really bad things. Like, there's nobody that's like in the middle. And I did, like I told you guys last month, I read my first fantasy-esque book, and that book changed my view on a fantasy. So I really didn't know where to start, but I knew I wanted to read more. And every bookstagram, like every TikTok book person, talks about this book, and I thought that I would try it out. stand in the way of success. Not to mention the fact that no one has the faintest idea what coffee actually is. If Viv wants to put the blade behind her and make her plans a reality, she won't be able to go at it alone. But the true reward of the uncharted path are the travelers you meet along the way, and whether drawn together by ancient magic, a flaky pastry, or a freshly brewed cup, they may become partners, family, and sometimes deeper than she ever could have dreamed. I sounded like I forgot how to read. This is so me. I'm a coffee girl, so any mention of coffee is right up my alley. I just love this cover. I know, obviously, never judge a book by its cover, but come on, this is so cute. Even if it's terrible, it's gonna be so cute to just display. So, I'm really excited to read that one. I'm just gonna keep going in order. The next one, oh my god, you guys, I'm so excited to read this book. There has been so much talk on it, and anytime like I can keep up with like what's out and what's new, I feel so accomplished because I am someone who is always behind. I'm always late to the game. So did you see that? I almost dropped it. Murder in the Family. I am so excited to read this one. This is by Kara Hunter. This book has been talked about so much on Bookstagram in particular, and I'm just so excited to read it. This is like a mystery thriller. So, no one saw the killer, but they saw the body. In December 2003, Luke Ryder, the stepfather of acclaimed filmmaker Guy Howard, was found dead in the garden of their suburban family home. Guy was an only child, asleep upstairs at the time of the murder. His mother and two half-sisters were also in the house that night, but all swear they saw nothing. Despite a high-profile police investigation and endless media attention, no one ever was charged, and Guy's family has been haunted ever since. 20 years later, the sensational new streaming service Infamous is dedicated to investigating and perhaps cracking this famous cold case. The production team will re-examine testimony, re-interview witnesses, and once again scour the evidence. The family will speak, the key players will be reunited on camera, the truth will come out. Are you ready to see it? Doesn't that sound amazing, especially if you love murder mysteries? But the thing about this book that I actually didn't realize till after I ordered it is this book, is written like you're investigating a murder right now. So let me kind of like take you through. So there's like the interviews. Let me get it. Like the people being interviewed. There's evidence that is in this book, like a like news article and emails. What else? So that is something that like drew me into this book, because by the synopsis I was already so excited to read this, but then when I got the book and I kind of flipped through it, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, I've never read anything like this. This is kind of revolutionary, and I feel like that style of inclusive writing is gonna draw me in more, and murder mysteries are already so captivating if written well that this style of writing, I'm so excited to read this book. It is a little bit of a chunker, but as in is because there's like things that you discover that she's never really talked about. But just the love that Britney has for her fans, no other celebrity that I've read their book has really ever touched on that aspect. It's kind of like they talk about the turmoil and like almost hating their life, but Britney makes it so evident how much, through the good and the bad, she loves her life, and she's so grateful and thankful for her fans, which I think is such, like, I don't know, it's kind of cheesy and kind of corny to say, but you know, fans really do put celebrities like up on these like pedestals, like where they are, and a lot of celebrities don't acknowledge, you know what I'm saying, like that the fans made it possible for them to like be and do where they are. But that was one thing that I just admired so much, is like the selflessness that Britney has and the like true gratitude that she has towards her fans. So like I said, if you haven't watched it, watch my last video. I do talk about this a little bit, but I did just pick this up and I read this literally in like a day or two. It was so good, and it's said that Britney is going to be coming out with another book, so I definitely will be reading that. Like I'm not even gonna pretend I'm not. So I'm excited to see like what else she has to say, because as great as that book was, I did feel like there was more to be said. And also this book was written before the announcement of her divorce from Sam and all of that drama. So I'm really excited to see what else she has to say. The next book that I got secondhand. I got this book off of Bingo, and it is The Last Letter from Your Lover by Jojo Moyes. I don't really actually know how to pronounce her last name. And I got this one off Bingo Books secondhand, girly. I actually got this months ago, like months and months ago, and I don't really know why I never reached for it. I don't know, but yeah, this is one of my favorite authors. Jojo Moyes is the reason why I got back into reading. She wrote Me Before You, which is just such a great book, and sucked me in, girl. So I had never seen this. I was scrolling on good old Bingo, and there she was, and I was like, wait a minute. And yeah, this book came out in like 2012, but I don't know how I didn't hear about it. It is in 1960. Jennifer Sterling wakes up in the hospital and remembers nothing, not the car accident that put her there, not her wealthy husband, not even her own name. Searching for clues, she finds an impassioned letter signed Simply B from a man for whom she seemed willing to risk everything. In 2003, journalist Ellie Hayworth stumbles upon an old letter containing a man's ardent plea to his married lover. She becomes obsessed with finding out what happened to the couple. Perhaps if they lived happily ever after, her own complicated affair could have a happy ending too. A brief encounter for our time. This is a novel for romantics of every age. I don't know, I thought that sounded good at the time, and now it still sounds good, so I'm excited to pick this one up and read it. And it said that it was turned into a Netflix film on the crazy. So another book I got off Pango was Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I've read another book by Sarah Adams. I think it is The Cheat Sheet. I enjoyed that book. I picked this one up. I remember because like every bookstagrammer was like, you need to read this book, and when it comes to books, I'm easily influenced, okay? So again, whoever had this book, perfect condition. Just perfect condition. It's good. I remember too, like looking over to my bookshelf every time I finished a book, and I was like, I want to read that book. I almost bought it on my Kindle too, even though I had the physical copy. I don't know. Okay, let's read it. A small town sweetheart and an emotionally unavailable bad boy tried to find some common ground in this chemistry-filled romance from Sarah Adams, author of The Cheat Sheet and When in Rome. Told you. Annie Walker is on a quest to find her perfect match, someone who complements her happy, quiet life, running the local flower shop in Rome, Kentucky. But finding her dream man may be harder than Annie imagined. Everyone knows everyone in her hometown, and the dating prospects are getting fewer by the day. After she overhears her latest date say she is so unbelievably boring, Annie starts to think the problem might be her. Is it too late to become flirtatious and fun like the leading ladies in her favorite romance movies? Maybe she only needs a little practice, and Annie has the perfect person in mind to be her tutor, Will Griffin. Will, the sexy, tattooed, and absolutely gorgeous bodyguard, is temporarily back in Rome, providing security for Amelia Rose. Excitement builds for her upcoming marriage to Noah Walker, Annie's brother. He has one personal objective while on the job: stay away from Annie Walker and any other possible attachments to this sleepy town. But no sooner than he gets settled, Will finds himself tasked with helping Annie find the love of her life by becoming the next leading lady of Rome, Kentucky. Will wants no part in changing the sweet and lovely Annie. He knows for a fact that some stuffy, straight-laced guy won't make her happy, but he doesn't have the heart to say no. Amid steamy practice dates and strictly educational tutoring lessons, Annie discovers that there are more layers to Will than his usual stoic attitude. As the lines of their friendship become dangerously blurred, Annie reconsiders her dream guy. Maybe her love life doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be real. Girl, that was so long. I mean, look at that. That was long. But of course, good girl meets bad guy. It's always a recipe for disaster and third act breakup, so I'm already expecting that with this one. But we will see. The cover is so cute. I'm just such a sucker for a pink book too. Like, if I put it back there, it's gonna be cute. I know it's gonna be a good story. Sarah Adams writes great stories, so really excited to get into that one. Last book. Do you guys hear the rain? Girl, and thunder. That's what keeps like making that loud noise. Maybe it's rain. I don't know, girl. It is raining today. The final book is another highly talked about book. All over Bookstagram, people are talking about it. The Sevene Slip. Can we just have some commotion for this beautiful book? It's like the most beautiful orange yellow. This is The Sevene Slip by Ashley Boston. Boston. Again, like I said, so talked about. I always see just that. But when she moves into her late aunt's apartment and finds a strange man standing in the kitchen, a man with kind eyes and a southern drawl, and a taste for lemon pies, her well-laid plans begin to fall apart, because he's the type of man who, before it all, she would have fallen head over heels for. And she still might. Except he exists in the past, 7 years in the past to be exact, and she quite literally lives 7 years in his future. Her aunt always said the apartment was a pinch in time, a place where moments blend like watercolors. She also said that love is never a matter of time, but a matter of timing, and Clementine fears she may be 7 years too late. Like that sounds so good. Like, it would make for such a good story. Also, not really something I've ever read before, because it makes you think, like, how was that relationship gonna work? And also the name Clementine is so cute. That's unrelated, but to me, I think that's such a cute name. I love like little like names that aren't supposed to be names, but people make them into names. I think that's so adorable. Like, before my daughter was born, I really wanted to name her Minnow. My daughter literally didn't have a name until they pulled her out my womb. We always kind of knew what her name was gonna be, but we kind of played around. So I wanted to name her Minnow, and my husband was like, hell no, like, what kind of name is that? That's why I love the name Clementine so much. So sorry, I digress. But yes, this sounds so cute, and like I said, I cannot wait to see how this plays out. Alrighty guys, so that is it. That is all the books I have to share with you today. I'm glad that we could just sit down and talk about some books together. I haven't done a book haul in like 6 months, so I'm really excited.